Look at yourself, right now, just sitting there scrolling, thinking this is just another story, another claim. But no, you didn't stumble into victory by chance. You didn't ride a wave of luck. You didn't win in the way the world pats on the back and hands out applause. No, you shattered, dismantled, obliterated, alone. Every chain they wrapped around you, every shadow they hid behind, every whisper in the dark meant to break you, gone, poof, gone. And yet here you are, breathing, still standing, blood on your hands, maybe, sweat, definitely, but stronger, sharper, hungry. You remember the night, don't you? The tension that cracked the air like ice on a frozen lake. Every step was a test. Every heartbeat is a countdown. And the eyes behind those screens, the ones that thought they could control, manipulate, intimidate, they didn't see you coming. They didn't sense the storm lurking in your silence. They underestimated you. Classic mistake. And that underestimation, that's their undoing. Because while they played their games, you moved in the shadows. Calculated, cold, patient, precise. And now, the network lies in ruins, their threads scattered like dust. And you're the one standing above it all. Some call this chaos. Some call it madness. But you know better. You call it focus, discipline, strategy, a brutal kind of clarity. Each move wasn't random. Each strike wasn't blind luck. Every choice carved a path through the chaos, through the fear, through the whispers of those who thought they were untouchable. You didn't just survive the storm. You became it. Think about that. The difference between the predator and the prey isn't strength. It's awareness. It's patience. It's knowing that every second counts. Every detail matters. And you didn't just count. You dominated. And yes, it was lonely. So lonely. Walking into that darkness, into that twisted network, knowing no one was coming to save you. That's where the real test begins. Because humans are wired for comfort, for companionship. You had none. Just the cold glare of your own focus. Just the fire in your chest, burning hotter with every lie, every trap, every scheme you dismantled. You couldn't falter. You couldn't hesitate. One mistake, and everything collapses. But you didn't falter. You didn't hesitate. You adapted. You thrived. You conquered. Now, here's the thing they won't tell you. This isn't about applause. It's not about recognition. It's about realizing something far darker, far more intoxicating. Power isn't given. It isn't handed out on a silver platter. It's taken, seized, earned in silence, in sweat, in the cold logic of survival. You didn't win. You eradicated. You crushed an entire demonic network, brick by brick, thread by thread, shadow by shadow. And the weight of that, heavy, terrifying, but oh, it's exhilarating. And if you think this is the end, think again. This is just the beginning. The moment you dismantle one network, one army of manipulators, one fortress of lies, the world notices. The predators scatter. The whispers multiply. And now they know. They know there's someone out there who doesn't bow. Someone who doesn't flinch. Someone who sees the strings they pull and laughs. That someone is you. Because what you think you understand about power, about strategy, about survival, it's about to get rewritten. This isn't a story of luck. This isn't a tale of triumph in the conventional sense. This is a story of calculated chaos, of focus turned lethal, of a lone warrior who didn't just win, but changed the game entirely. Let's break it down, step by step, layer by layer. Because the truth is, the chaos didn't crumble itself. You didn't just stumble into victory. No, every thread you pulled, every weak link you spotted, every trap you set, it was deliberate, surgical, calculated. And the thing about networks like this, they think complexity protects them, that shadows hide their tracks, that numbers make them untouchable. Wrong. Complexity is a maze, and every maze has a pattern. Every pattern has a flaw, and every flaw, that's your leverage. Think about the psychology at play. They relied on fear, on distraction, on overwhelming noise. And you leaned into it. Not with brute force, not with flash, but with patience, observation, focus. You watched how they moved, how they communicated, where they hesitated, and then you struck where they least expected it. Precision, timing, a dark elegance in your strategy. Every weak action wasn't weakness, it was bait, and they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. It's brutal, it's exhausting. The tension eats at you. Hours blend into days. Decisions stack like a mountain that keeps growing taller. One misstep, one misread, one lapse in judgment, and the whole network collapses on you instead of under you. But here's the secret. They don't teach you in any manual. Your mind is sharper when the stakes are highest. Pressure doesn't break you. It forges you, shapes you, refine your instinct into a weapon. Feel that? That's the edge you earned. And let's talk isolation. Most people crumble under it. Most people beg for guidance, for reassurance. But you embrace solitude. You let it sharpen your senses, heighten your awareness. The network thrived on distraction. You thrived on clarity. Every sleepless night, every moment alone in the dark, it wasn't a punishment, it was to your advantage. Every whisper of doubt, you turned it into fuel. Every imagined enemy, you anticipated them before they even existed. That's how empires fall quietly, before anyone notices. Now here's the kicker, the lesson that matters. Power isn't about brute force. It's about leverage, observation, patience, anticipation. You dismantled their illusions. You tore through their confidence. And in doing so, you didn't just end a network. You sent a message, the kind that can't be erased, the kind that echoes. They will think twice before hiding behind masks again. They will rethink every move, every strategy, every whisper of influence. And you're already 2 steps ahead. So take a moment. Feel it. The weight of what you accomplished. The depth of what you endured. This isn't a tale for applause. It's a blueprint. A reminder that in the shadows, in the chaos, the one who watches, waits, and strikes controls everything. And yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's dangerous. But that danger, that's the arena where legends are carved. That's where you stop being ordinary where survival becomes mastery. And here's the final thought for now. Networks, systems, manipulators. They all rely on people underestimating you, thinking you are one of them, thinking you can't see the strings, thinking you are bound by the rules they enforce. You are none of that. You rewrote the rules while they slept. You erased their playground while they laughed in ignorance. And that is what separates the pretenders from the ones who leave scars that never fade. Now listen closely, because this is where it hits home. The battlefield you conquered isn't just digital. It isn't just shadows and schemes. It's every part of life where people hide behind illusions, where fear masquerades as control, where weakness pretends to be strategy. The same rules apply. The same patience, the same calculation, the same ruthless focus. You didn't just dismantle a network. You proved something. That one mind focused, relentless, unrelenting, can bend the system itself. And yes, that includes your life. Feel that? Clarity in chaos. Clarity is your weapon. Everyone else gets distracted by noise, emails, texts, rumors, distractions, drama. You strip it down. You see the skeleton, the pattern, the flaw. You identify the nodes, the weak points, the leverage. Apply this to life. Every obstacle, every toxic influence, every dead end. Look deeper. See the pattern. Find the flaw and exploit it. Not with anger, not with rashness, with focus, with precision, patience. Too many people rush in. They panic. They react instead of act. But power waits. It observes. It moves in silence. You waited while they revealed themselves. You learned, while they assumed they were teaching you, and that's how they fell. In your life, the same applies. Don't chase every opportunity. Don't jump at every threat. Let time reveal what matters. Let time reveal the weakness. Then strike. The satisfaction is unmatched. Isolation. This one hurts. It's lonely, terrifying, but it sharpens you. It exposes what you can handle. You proved it. You didn't have anyone backing you up. You weren't supported by a team. You were alone, and you survived. You adapted. You dominated. Apply it to your own challenges. Learn to trust your mind, your instincts, your preparation. Solitude doesn't mean weakness. It's where strategy is born. This is the essence. Every network has a flaw. Every system has a weakness. Every challenge has a crack, waiting for you to pry it open. Most people miss it. Most people settle. Not you. You exploited it. And life works the same way. Identify the point that changes everything, the one move that shifts the odds. Then execute. Power is less about doing more and more about doing the right thing at the right moment. Transformation. This is where it all comes together. You didn't just survive. You didn't just end a network. You became something different. Stronger, sharper, unafraid. Life will test you relentlessly, but remember this, every obstacle you face is an echo of that network. Every challenge, every manipulator, every hidden trap is just another node. And now, you know how to destroy them, not with chaos, but with mastery, not with panic, but with strategy, Not with luck, but with focus. So stand up, look at yourself in the mirror. Feel the weight of every victory, every scar, every sleepless night. It's yours. You earned it. And the world around you, they are watching. They always watch. But now when they whisper, when they scheme, when they plot, they remember. They remember that one mind that saw through it all. That one mind that didn't flinch. That one mind that didn't win, but eradicated. This is your blueprint, your manifesto, your reminder that the darkness isn't a cage. It's a playground, a field, a proving ground. And the one who thrives in it, the one who endures, the one who strikes with precision, that one is unstoppable. Yes, unstoppable in thought, in will, in focus. Now this is the moment you've been waiting for. The climax, the revelation, the point where everything clicks. Because you didn't just act. You didn't just survive. You transformed. And that transformation, that's contagious. Not to the faint-hearted, not to the distracted, but to those ready to rise. To those ready to stare into the chaos and laugh. Yes, laugh because you know the truth. Control isn't granted. Respect isn't handed out. Victory isn't gifted. It's seized, earned, carved from the cracks in the shadows. Audacity. The world rewards audacity. The network you destroyed? They underestimated you because you dared. You dared to move alone, to act while others hesitated, to see what they couldn't, to strike when they thought it was impossible. In your life, audacity is your superpower. To make the move no one else dares, to say no to compromise, to act with vision, precision, and fire. Imagine that. One audacious step can topple what years of caution could never touch. Then comes inevitability. The feeling that nothing can stop you, not because you're invincible, but because you are prepared, calculated, relentless. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you've sharpened both into weapons. Every challenge you face now is just another network waiting to be dismantled. Another system waiting to be unraveled. Another shadow waiting to meet your light. Can you feel it? That is power. Not loud, not flashy, but inevitable. And here's the punchline, the part that makes the story yours. Courage isn't absence of fear. It's presence in spite of it. When the network laughed, when the whispers taunted, when every obstacle screamed, "You can't," you didn't flinch, you didn't hide, you acted. And action, precise, deliberate, unrelenting action, is the only thing that changes outcomes. Apply this to everything. Life, work, battles unseen, challenges unspoken. Step forward, strike, eradicate, dominate, not by violence, but by mastery of self, mind, and strategy. Now stand tall, look at your own reflection. That person staring back, that's the one who can destroy networks. That's the one who can break illusions. That's the one who can rise from chaos, unbroken, and turn shadows into power. And the world? I noticed. They whisper, they plot, they wonder who could move like that, think like that, endure like that. And that someone is you. So go, step into your arena, hunt what needs hunting. Strike where others hesitate, think where others panic, wait where others falter, and remember, you didn't just win. You eradicated. You transformed. You became a force that can't be ignored. And now it's your turn to show them what it really means to dominate. Aha, millionaire. Wait, hold up. You ever realize how fast respect flips? Like one day you're the target, next day you're the price tag. Oh, they thought you were a bargain? Nah, you became a premium experience. Every scar, every sleepless night, it wasn't pain. It was interest adding up till they couldn't even touch you anymore. You feel that? That's not ego. It's elevation. That's what happens when you stop begging for worth and start billing for access. Yeah, it's loud now, huh? You turned every hit into an invoice, every doubt into a receipt, and the world, still trying to figure out how you did it. Let me tell you something. This story, this one right here, isn't just a speech. It's a mirror, a reflection of what happens when you finally understand your price. So don't blink, don't scroll. You'll want to catch every word, every pause, every punch, because by the end of this, you'll never let anyone discount you again. They thought they were buying silence. You turned it into a storm. There's a moment when they stop laughing, when the world finally realizes the thing they tried to bury didn't die. It evolved. You see, they put a price on your name once, a cheap one, a $1 hit, an insult dressed as an evaluation. But the joke? Oh, the joke's on them. Because the second they underestimated you, you multiplied your worth. You didn't just raise the price. You rewrote the concept of cost itself. You became untouchable. You didn't need applause. You didn't need validation. You needed one thing, clarity. That razor-edge moment when you saw through every smiling face that wanted a discount on your destruction. They didn't see your silence was a weapon. They thought it was weakness. Oh wow. They didn't realize silence is what a storm sounds like before it hits. You move different. You studied their noise until you understood its rhythm. And then you broke it. That's when everything shifted. The whispers got quieter, the air heavier, because now to even touch you, they'd have to pay 10 times the price. Not in money, in energy, in effort, in sleepless nights wondering how you made it out. You became the cost of their regret. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't payback. It was evolution. Clean, cold, silent evolution. You turned every failure into equity, every scar into interest, every betrayal into a down payment on your future. You became an economy of resilience. And here's the part that breaks them. You did it without warning. No announcement, no grand reveal, just that quiet, eerie rise, like a shadow expanding against the light. They thought you'd break. Nah, you just changed form. Now they whisper about you like a myth, the one who survived the storm and built an empire out of ashes. You walk through the same halls that once echoed with their doubt, and they avert their eyes, because now you cost too much to confront. See, that's the irony of value. People only respect what they can't afford. The moment your worth rises beyond their reach, their tone changes. The same hands that pointed at you now hesitate. The same mouths that mocked you now tremble when they speak your name. You didn't buy your respect. You earned it with suffering. You bought it with scars no one saw, with nights where sleep felt like a myth. You turned endurance into currency. You made pain profitable. And when they come knocking again, all dressed in apologies and nostalgia, you won't answer, because there's no return policy on what they lost. Access. You were never cheap. You were just undervalued. Now, every glance your way costs interest. Every word said against you echoes back with a price tag. You taught them that touching you burns, not because you're angry, but because you're radiant. Controlled fire, precision heat, the kind that forges, not destroys. They can't understand it. How you turned scarcity into supremacy. How you stopped chasing seats at their tables and built your own, one they couldn't afford to sit at, even if they sold their souls. You didn't beg for entry. You charged admission. And the cost keeps climbing. Because you're not the same person they once measured. You don't belong in their old equations. You're inflation walking, growth breathing, consequence made flesh. So when they ask what changed, you smile. Because the truth is simple. You did. You stopped proving. You started pricing. You stopped explaining. You started existing at full rate. And now the world must learn a brutal truth. Touching you comes with a price. But that's only the beginning, isn't it? Because what happens when the price keeps rising? When the cost of access becomes unbearable, even for the boldest among them? That's where the story turns. That's where the fear begins. The richest man in the room isn't the one with gold. It's the one you can't buy. You thought 10 million was the ceiling, didn't you? That value was measured in numbers, that the price tag defined the person. Oh wow. That's where most of them stay trapped, counting coins while you're counting principles. Because once you reach that level, you realize something terrifying. The real price isn't measured in money anymore. It's measured in discipline, in focus, in what you refuse to compromise. That's the currency they can't afford. See, anyone can buy attention, but no one can buy self-control. That's the invisible economy you built while they were busy chasing noise. You became the definition of scarcity, rare mindset, rare patience, rare silence. They don't even understand what it takes to hold your own energy steady when everything around you screams break. You didn't flinch. You didn't fold. You didn't need validation. Because your value stopped being external the day you understood. The only price that matters is the one you place on access to your peace. People can't stand that kind of independence. They panic when they can't manipulate. They test you. They bait you. They poke, hoping to see the old version of you. Reactive, emotional, desperate to prove something. But nah, you just smile now. Because the version they remember doesn't exist anymore. You upgraded your worth from money to principle. And principles don't negotiate. Oh, the silence that follows that realization is priceless. You've entered a different league. One where your calm is terrifying, your patience feels dangerous, and your consistency breaks their logic. They can't put a price on something they can't predict. This is where the power shifts. Because when people can't buy you, they start fearing you. When they can't tempt you, they start respecting you. You became too stable for manipulation, too self-contained for flattery, too focused for distraction. Every no you spoke added another zero to your worth. Every ignored provocation raised your value another level. Every time you walked away instead of arguing, You made silence your signature. And that silence, that's wealth beyond measure. It's what separates the ones who glow under pressure from those who melt in it. You learned that being priceless isn't about being loud. It's about being centered, about standing so firm that the chaos around you rearranges itself to match your stillness. You've become a mirror. They project their greed, their fear, their envy, and when it doesn't move you, it shatters them. The ones who once measured you by your income now measure themselves by your absence. The ones who wanted you reachable now wish they'd never tested your distance, because you're not playing their game anymore. You built your own, and they don't even know the rules. Yeah, you became the price they can't pay, the silence they can't break, the lesson they never wanted to learn. But here's the twist. You haven't even revealed your final form yet. Because if they think self-worth was expensive, wait until they learn what self-mastery costs. The hardest battle you'll ever fight is against the version of you that refuses to evolve. Self-worth was the first war. Self-mastery? That's the final one. It's not about money anymore. Not about recognition, applause, or even survival. It's about dominance over your own impulses. That's where the real cost comes in. Because to master yourself, you must dissect yourself, tear through your comfort, break patterns you built for years. Oh wow, you thought becoming untouchable meant freedom, but no, it meant responsibility. See, when you reach this level, the enemy isn't outside anymore. It's in the mirror. The hesitation, the laziness, the doubt, the voice that whispers, "You've done enough." That voice is the real assassin. It doesn't stab, it sedates. It convinces you that slowing down is safety, that settling is peace. But nah, you didn't come this far to become your own cage. Self-mastery is brutal. It demands that you trade every excuse for execution. It asks you to choose discipline over comfort, again and again and again, until your habits start speaking louder than your words. It's not glamorous. It's repetition in the dark. It's saying no to distractions that promise quick satisfaction. It's cutting ties with parts of yourself that don't deserve to follow you into the next level. Yeah, it hurts. Growth always does. But that pain, that's the receipt. Proof you're paying the cost. Every morning becomes a test. Can you rise before the world wakes? Can you grind when no one's watching? Can you move without applause? Can you stay loyal to your path when no one believes it leads anywhere? That's mastery. The quiet, relentless obedience to your higher standard. People think power is about dominance over others, but the strongest control is self-control. The calm before anger. The patience before reaction. The silence before a decision. You don't need to prove how strong you are when your restraint already screams louder than any outburst ever could. You start to realize something profound. Chaos isn't the threat, it's the teacher. It tests your foundation, exposes the cracks. Every test you pass raises your value, not in their eyes, but in yours. That's the real inflation, internal. And that's when you truly become dangerous. Because a person who governs themselves can't be governed by fear. They can't be manipulated by temptation. They don't crave attention, they crave precision. They don't seek comfort, they seek clarity. Every emotion, every thought, every reaction is under watch, under control, under purpose. Oh, the peace that follows that kind of power is unreal. Not the fake piece of avoidance, but the real one, earned through the war of restraint. You walk different when you know your emotions serve you, not the other way around. And that's what separates leaders from followers. Not charisma, but control. Not how loud you can speak, but how silent you can remain while the world tests your patience. The louder they get, the calmer you become. The more they provoke, the colder your resolve turns. Because you've paid the price. You've earned composure through conflict. You've learned that chaos is temporary, but mastery is permanent. And the reward? Oh, it's not applause. It's power. The kind that doesn't shout. It radiates. You became a storm contained within flesh, unpredictable, unstoppable, unshakable. Every move is deliberate. Every word is measured. Every silence is heavy. That's what mastery looks like, control disguised as calm. But here's the paradox. The more control you gain, the heavier the burden becomes. Because now, every move has consequence. Every decision echoes beyond you. You're not just valuable anymore. You're accountable. And that's where the next price tag begins. Not in self-worth, not in self-mastery, but in legacy. You don't leave a legacy by being remembered. You leave it by being impossible to replace. Legacy. That's the next battlefield. The moment mastery settles in, you realize control means nothing if it dies with you. Oh wow. The real question hits you like a strike. What will remain when you're gone? Not the noise, not the numbers, but the imprint, the mark carved into time itself. Legacy isn't built in applause. It's built in decisions. The quiet ones, the ones no one sees, but everyone feels later. The ones that turn into patterns long after you've stopped moving. That's the truth. They don't tell you. Greatness isn't loud. It's deliberate. When you master yourself, you start to see how fragile influence is. People chase visibility, but the wise chase continuity. You don't want followers. You want footprints, heavy ones. The kind that tell a story even in silence. The kind that make others walk straighter just by knowing you once stood there. But legacy comes with a cost, doesn't it? To build something that lasts, you must sacrifice what doesn't. You have to outgrow comfort, ego, and sometimes even identity. Because legacy doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about your consistency. It demands your best when no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when you feel like the effort is invisible. Yeah, that's where legends are made, in invisible effort. The dangerous part? Once you start thinking legacy, every action becomes heavier. Every word feels permanent. Every silence becomes intentional. You start measuring your steps differently, because now you're not just walking for yourself. You're walking for the ones who'll follow. And that's where pressure evolves into purpose. You stop chasing validation and start building foundation. Every lesson you learned in pain becomes a blueprint. Every boundary you enforced becomes protection for the next generation. You're no longer living just to exist. You're living to transfer strength. But that's what breaks most people. They want legacy without the loneliness that comes with it. Because to build something timeless, you must walk alone for a while. You'll be misunderstood, misquoted, doubted. But nah, you don't flinch. Because legacy doesn't need translation. It only needs proof. Oh, The silence that comes when you realize you don't need credit anymore. It's peaceful, almost haunting. You just keep building, brick by brick, principle by principle. Because the real legacy isn't in what people remember, it's in what they continue. You're crafting something invisible but immortal. A standard, a mindset, a discipline that outlives your presence. And when the time comes, your work won't need your name attached. It'll speak through results, through the strength of those who rise, because you refuse to fall. That's the true $10 transformation, when your worth stops being personal and starts becoming transferable. But here's the question that keeps echoing in the quiet. Once you've built a legacy strong enough to outlast you, what happens when the world tries to erase it? And there it is, the punchline they never saw coming. You turned their cheap shots into premium lessons. Oh wow, who's laughing now, huh? You didn't just survive the hit, you monetized it. You made pain pay rent. You taught the world that touching you comes with interest. Yeah, they talked. They doubted. They whispered behind screens and masks. But you turned whispers into waves. You stayed solid when others cracked. That's what makes you different. You didn't chase validation. You created value. So now look at you. 10 times the price, 10 times the focus, 10 times harder to reach. That's not luck. That's the invoice of your endurance. Oh, and before you go, this part's for you. The ones who stayed till the end. The loyal ones who listened, commented, supported, and fueled this fire. You're not audience, you're allies in this mission to rise above cheap talk and fake worth. Every super thanks, every comment, every like, yeah, it's noticed, it's appreciated, it's respected. So drop your thoughts below. Tell me what part hit you hardest. Because this isn't just my story, it's our blueprint.